Hello everyone, are you ready to see my Landorus Therian guide? Well, let's get right into things. Like I said, guys, this is going to be my Landorus Therian guide. Now, since its introduction in Generation 5, Landorus Therian has always been one of the most prominent players in the OU metagame. Now, just for some reference, in Generation 5, when it was introduced, it has a usage of 27.8%, being the number 4 overall. Jumping to Generation 6 metagame, we see it being the number 1 used overall with 31.4%. And then jumping to the Generation 7, it is the number 1 again with 45.2. Now, just being able to understand why, it's boasting a whopping 145 attack and 91 speed, allowing this mon to wall break with very little to no invest. The main role you want to be filling with Landorus Therian, however, as we jump over to its movesets, is very clearly that you're running Rocky Helmet, probably Earthquake, U-Turn, Stealth Rock, and then either Stone Edge or HP Ice or something else, but it's very clear that you're using it as a defensive pivot. Now, there are a lot of spreads that are going to run it in attack and speed, in defense and speed, in various other things. As you see, other 63%. So the majority of people are not actually running in just straight attack. Now, personally, I think the best is obviously to run maybe either HP in attack or attack and speed. It really depends on what you're trying to go for with your team, but it's very clear from the moves that are getting used that Earthquake is on there almost all of the time. U-Turn is on there 2/3 of the time. The same with Stealth Rock. So your last move is really where you have that variety. Now, there are some good and some bad to each of these moves. People using Fly are using Fly Z. People using Rock Polish are usually trying to do a setup set. People using Knockoff's that's not unviable. Swords Dance is another one of those setup sets. Now, HP Ice is to combat some of the ice weaknesses in the meta, like Garchomp and Landorus Therian, and Stone Edge is to take care of other Landorus Therians, as well as doing significant damage to other flying Pokemon. But looking at what it pairs with well, it really pairs with things that are good in the meta right now. So you pairing it with, Mega Metagross, Tapu Fini, Tapu Lele, maybe with Magearna, with Heatran, and the reason that you're pairing it with things like Metagross, Magearna, Heatran is because these Pokemon are neutral with electricity and weak to ground, whereas you are immune to electricity and immune to ground and resistant to fighting. So a lot of the weaknesses you actually cover, so you pair it well to make a nice little duo there. But throughout the years, it's had a few different sets that become prominent. The setup set has been one of the most prominent ones, the pivot set, as well as just the raw damage set. All three of these have been very prevalent. However, in the current meta, it's very clear from the stats that we just showed that the pivot set is a little more used than either of the other sets. Now, the raw damage set and the pivot set can work very well together because the pivot set just essentially uses U-Turn combined with your above average speed and above average attack to get out of bad situations. Fly, giving it nice access to its first physical flying move, lets you use Fly Z to take on some threats like Pheromosa if you were to run into them on the ladder. And because Pheromosa is the 6th used overall, and we'll just confirm that right now, 6th used overall, it's not unviable, but you definitely see why it's like a 10% type thing. Going down here, Lando, like all Pokemon though, does have weaknesses, and that's one of your biggest issues with Landorus, is that it does have that ×4 weakness to ice. So when building your team and when battling, you definitely have to be aware of this fact. So you definitely want to be watching out for certain Pokemon like Greninja, which can outspeed you and hit you with an Ice Beam. Ferrothorn, which you just really don't do enough damage to, and it can just leech seed you, and even if you want to U-turn out on it, you're going to take some damage from its barbs. You know, Ferrothorn, you're just not in a very good position to go up against. Celestelia is another one of them that really can take what you're dishing out, because it takes neutral from Stone Edge, and then it just can hit you for pretty hard in return with like a Rock Slide or basically anything it wants to do. You just don't really want to take. And then Skarmory. Skarmory is one of the best checks, actually, but it's not super common, so maybe 1 in 10 games you'll find one. So it's just something to be aware of, though. However, we are going to just build this mon right now the way I think you should use it, because it is arguably the best Pokemon in OU right now. So obviously Stealth Rock, obviously Earthquake, obviously U-turn, and then because we have that variety on the last move, I'm still gonna give it to Stone Edge, and it just answers some of the common threats on the ladder right now. We are gonna favor it over Rock Slide because this thing has the higher crit ratio, which means that if you connect, which you only have a 2 in 10 chance to not, you're going to do some massive damage. With a 91 speed base, there's a lot of things on the ladder that do outspeed you. So we're going to put Jolly. 309 means that you're outspeeding quite a bit. And then as we go here, we're obviously going to put the rest in attack. And then that last 4, well, we're going to put it in special defense. Now, it really doesn't make a difference, but we like putting it there anyway. So this is the Landorus Therian that we've built. We're going to make it shiny because you can. And there we go. If you like the video and you want to see more of this content, make sure you leave a like, share, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Bye!